Good evening.
Good evening.
So, I remember vividly the moment way back when I first saw this episode where I knew it was going to be okay. Because I still had my reservations about Catherine Tate, okay? My feelings about The Runaway Bride, I spoke about that in that video, and my disdain about that story, which has subsequently been proven to perhaps be misplaced, still resonated with me. And when Catherine Tate got announced as being the next companion, I wasn't feeling too keen about the idea. So we must have sat down in our old house to watch Partners in Crime. And the moment that I knew everything was going to be okay, and not just okay, but probably brilliant, was the bit when Donna and the Doctor are looking at each other across the room, and Donna's going, "Oh my God," and it's absolutely magnificent. And you just get this sense that Donna and the Doctor are going to work, and that Tennant and Tate are going to work, and there is just something so amazing about that. It's genuinely funny and just absolutely fabulous. And then it was off to the races with this Doctor companion pairing, which, as I've said somewhere before, Doctors are lucky if they get one iconic pairing with a companion. Tennant gets two. And that's a fabulous, fabulous thing. Not only do we get Catherine Tate, and let me just put my hand up and say, it took me a long time to properly get on board with just what a quality actor Catherine Tate is. But you get Tate's mom. I still can't remember her name. Is it Jacqueline? Catherine Tate's... Oh, no, I always think it's Jackie. Sylvia? Oh, well.
It'll come to
Okay, so the mom is brilliant. I mean, you don't like her much in this story. It's a slow burn there, but at least she resonates as a character. But oh my God, Bernard flipping Cribbins! Oh my gosh! I mean, this is the fourth series of this television program, and the only character that's still around. No, we haven't got anybody that's still around from the start. And all of a sudden, joining with our leading man, there's Catherine Tate and Bernard bloody Cribbins. That is an unbelievable shot in the arm for something that was already doing pretty well for itself. Absolutely fantastic. Now, got to talk about this because this is something that I felt for a long time now. I think for many a doctor, pairing them off with a slightly older female companion is an amazing gig. I don't know what the terminology is because Catherine Tate's a young woman in this, obviously. But there is just something about that slight subversion because it's died into Doctor Who, isn't it? That there's the Doctor who's a middle-aged man who travels around with a young girl who wanders around going, "Oh, Doctor, tell me things. And that, the truth of that is debatable, but we have seen plenty of examples of it. You pair him up with a slightly older woman who doesn't take any of his nonsense, and suddenly it puts the Doctor in a different light. And I really, really think it helps this Doctor right now, because this Doctor was getting a bit cocky. Do you know what I mean? This Doctor was getting a bit too cocky, right? He's had a couple of instances recently where that cockiness hasn't worked out. Obviously, the relationship with Martha, he's balls that up. She was brilliant. He says she was brilliant in this, and he's wrecked that. No. He even let the next companion material along die in the course of his story, right? Fine. We're not talking... I don't want to be dismissive of Kylie, but we're not talking Adric levels of trauma here. But she was definitely next in line, and bosh, didn't work out, okay? So when Catherine Tate comes in all when Donna comes in all bluster and nonsense, and we're going to do this and whatever else like this, and you get the bit where she gives him the necklace, and she's so sort of... Sylvia, so cool about it, gives him the necklace, and and it's like, oh, this is going to work. And then the bit where the Doctor says, oh, she fancied me in relation to Martha, and she just takes the mickey out of him. None of his nonsense, all right? She's not putting up with it. it really helps, I think, this Doctor be brought back down to earth a little bit and just make him really likeable again. Okay, this Doctor is going to struggle increasingly with that lack of likability, which is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great thing. It really pays off. But yeah, what a fantastic thing. And then, of course, we get that absolutely lovely, genuine bit at the end where, you know, he basically says, I just want a friend. I want a mate. And they make, and
you
make,
want to what?
and they make that joke about it. And there's this slight awkward about having a hug. But that's okay, because this is a relationship. Relationships go like that. Sometimes, you know, you have to work out the parameters that you're working with, and it's just class. From having a character in Doctor Who genuinely at the time, I don't feel this way now, obviously, because we know, but I thought, oh my God, no, please don't. I was sold within this. And then, Planet of the Hats, I'm ready. Absolutely brilliant. Then, of course, do this bit now. We get Rose at the end. Again, my barometer for moments like this is Winnie, who didn't know. Humphrey knew, but Winnie didn't know. And the look on her face was an absolute picture. Oh, my gosh. Isn't it so lovely that the programme really, in terms of this shape of it, is only 4 years old. And already we can do things like this where we bring somebody back and it is a big, big flipping deal. So there we go. You know, the general season opener, launching us off into a new season, laying out all the pieces and letting us go from there. All that kind of stuff is handled beautifully well. And then within that, you get this lightweight but utterly charming Doctor Who story where the baddies aren't really baddies. And I think Sarah Lancashire does an absolutely brilliant job of making Miss Foster, you know, it's almost like it's not a parody of a Doctor Who baddie. That's an overstatement, but she's just she knows the score. She's a good actress, is Sarah Lancashire. I mean, that goes without saying. Are you laughing at me or are you laughing at... Right, okay. But she's a great actress, and I think she plays this absolutely brilliantly. Just on the right side of knowing. That's what I'm looking for. All the way through... I mean, it was written, it died in the DNA of this episode. Those, you know, the parallels, Donna goes in the front, he goes in the back, she hides in the loo, he hides downstairs, and all that kind of thing. It's just really joyous, and getting the print off of the names and the stuff, and then they go and visit the different places. I feel very sorry for the lady whose name I've forgotten, who completely gets turned into adipose. That's a bit bleak in this story, especially since really Donna caused that to happen. That doesn't really get revisited. Not that I probably wanted to, but that's fine. But you do get this absolutely charming, glorious story. Well, she didn't know.
Does that make it okay?
No, not really. I'm sorry. And the adipose, for saying they've only been in one story, do they crop up somewhere else as a little aside?
I think they might get mentioned.
I think
somewhere.
they might bob up at the end of the series. We'll find out when we get there. But they are just so lovely. And periodically, this is it. Periodically, I do go on eBay and see if I can find a cuddly adipose. But
Did they make them?
yeah, they did. We missed out there, didn't we? What a way to launch a season, though. And again, it's so... I just think that Catherine Tate's performance here, and this is me. I'm wrong. I came into... We're going to come across another actor at some point who I was wrong about within the context of Doctor Who anyway, but James Corden. But this is a very different situation with Catherine Tate because, like I said at the time, the Catherine Tate show didn't resonate with me. Some of her characters did, and I didn't have... I had a respect for her, but not an affection for her. And it was through this episode and subsequent that I began to recognise that she's a class act, is Catherine Tate, and Doctor Who's very lucky to get her. Joyous start to this season. Oh, my word. Good stuff.